Oh, hello. Mr. Lee here. All right, this practice is going to be on solving exponential equations using logs, specifically base 2 and other bases. All right, so some of these questions are multiple choice. You might have the more complex, log form of the number, or we might have to, type in the answer to the calculator and get a rounded decimal. Okay. But either way, we're going to use algebra and your exponential log form conversion to solve these. Okay, so let me rewrite this. We have negative 6 times 2 to the power of 0.1x equals a negative 100. Okay, so first step I want to do is actually, I want to get this exponential term by itself. Okay, it's going to be a lot easier to work with if I get that by itself, because then we can invert the exponential or convert it into log form. So let's divide both sides by negative 6. So that should go away. A negative 100 divided by negative 6. Let me just calculate that real quick to show you what it is. Okay, we'll use the calculator power to help us out. Negative 100 over negative 6 is the same thing as 50 thirds. Okay, so if I divide both sides by negative 6, we get a 50 thirds here. Okay, I'm going to erase this just to clean it up, but I just use the calculator to figure out that. All right, so now we can go from exponential form to log form. All right, so this part takes a little bit to practice. My base is 2. Okay, look what I can do here. I can do a log base 2 of 50 thirds. Oh man, 50 thirds equals your 0.1x. Okay, so I'll explain this a little bit further. So let's take our time with it. This is, we call it the around the world method. But these two equations are the same thing. They mean the same thing. Okay, so using this around the world method, you can write your log with the same base of 2. Base 2 is here. And then the order should be 2 to the power of 0.1x is equal to the 50 thirds. Okay, we're allowed to do that because of the nature of your exponentials and logarithms. Okay, so check it again. We want the order of 2 to the power of 0.1x equals 50 thirds. That's exactly what was written in this previous step, right? So that gives us all the confirmation we need. Okay, so this left side looks pretty nasty, but the right side looks simpler, and it has the variable we're trying to solve for. That's the whole point. We just have one more step, divide by 0.1, right? So let's go ahead and do that. We'll divide both sides by 0.1, and this is our answer. Okay, so let's go to our Khan Academy list and see which one matches. None of them. Sweet. Okay, so something's probably going on with this divide by 0.1. We just have to change the way it looks, okay? So from this step, okay, from this step to here, you can divide by 0.1. Another thing you can do is times by 10, right? This is like 0.1, which is like 10 cents, right? 0.1 of a dollar, 10 cents. If you take 10 cents and multiply by 10, you'll get a dollar. So in other words, what I'm trying to say, what I'm trying to tell you is 1 divided by 0.1 is the same thing as 10. If you divide something by 0.1, it's the same thing as multiplying by 10. Okay? Dividing by a 0.1 is the same thing as multiplying by 10. Okay? So I'll prove it to you. All right? I'm going to take this, get rid of the divide by 0.1. I'm going to multiply all this by 10, like that. And I get the same answer. Can you see that? There you go. So that means option A is our answer. We found it. 10 log base 2 of 50 over 3, right? If they wanted us to get the calculated decimal version, we would just round it a bit, but we proved that they're the same thing. Dividing by 0.1, same thing as multiplying by 10. Okay. Man, we started off with the tricky one already. Let's go to the next one. What is the solution of the equation? Okay, so let's rewrite this whole guy. Let me start this all over. We have a 10 times 2 to the power of 3t over 5 is equal to 1,000. Okay, so same thing. we have our exponential term here. Let's isolate that first. I'm going to divide both sides by 10. So divide both sides by 10, we should get 100 on the right side. 1,000 divided by 10 is 100, right? And then we can do the same thing. I can convert from exponential form to log form. So I have a base 2 again. Log base 2, that's not what I want. Base 2, there we go. Log base 2 of 100 equals a 3t over 5. That's what we're looking for. Okay? Double check your around the world method. Start the base of the log. 2 to the power of 3t over 5 equals 100. 2 to the power of 3t over 5 equals 100. That's what we want. Okay? These two equations mean the same thing. Exponential form, log form. Okay, so that now allows us to continue to manipulate the right side to get t by itself, right? We're solving for t. So I'm going to leave, I'm going to multiply both sides by 5, which would get rid of this denominator. And then I will divide both sides by 3. Okay, we'll do it one step at a time. Divide by 3. There we go. So that is what t is equal to. It is asking us to round to the nearest thousandth. So let's figure out what this is. Okay, I'm just going to use Desmos as my calculator here. 11.073. A thousandth place is going to be 3 decimals over, right? 3 decimal places over. So 11.073. Let's see what we get. There you go. And I think it'd be good to do one more for good measure, one that doesn't have a base of 2. So here's our last one we're going to do. So 8 times 5 to the power of negative t over 9 is equal to 346. Okay, so hopefully this is looking pretty familiar. We're going to divide both sides by 8. Let's see if 346 divided by 8 turns into a nice number. Nope. 43.25. We'll leave it like that because if you look at some of your answer choices, you have the 43.25. Okay, so 43.25. 346 divided by 8 is a 43.25. All right, so same steps. I was able to get my exponential term by itself. Let's convert the exponential equation into a logarithmic equation. Exponential form, logarithmic form. So start with your log. Keep the same base. It's not a base 2 anymore, it's a base 5 now. Okay, so log base 5 of your 43.25 should equal your negative t over 9. Okay, you can even do it this way, right? I don't think I showed this in the last two examples. You can leave it blank like this. Some of you guys might find this really helpful, right? You definitely have the bases filled as the same, right? Log base 5. You have a base 5 here. So log base 5, you can go like this. 5 to the power of negative t over 9 is equal to, around the world, 43.25. Just like that. Okay? So home stretch doesn't look nice on the left side, but we got this t expression by itself. So we just have one more step to do. We can do this in one step. We're going to multiply by a negative to get rid of this negative, and we're going to multiply by 9 to get rid of this denominator. Okay, so it'll look like this, times by negative 9. And that'll get t by itself. Okay, so let's see if we have that in the works. It looks like option B matches that exactly. Negative 9 times log base 5, 43.25. There we go. Good stuff.